There's two pieces of equipment that I want you to grab. One is either a block, a pillow, a foam roller, something not too thick. And again, you don't have to have it, but it's going to be kind of nice. And then the next one you do want, and I know everybody has something, so I just have a little tea towel, a towel, a little blanket, even like a hand towel that you can kind of make into this guy. So have that available, and we'll do that a little bit more towards the end so you have some time to find it. But those are your little equipment you're going to use today. So I'm just going to keep these by the side, but we'll grab those a little bit later. And we are going to start in a child's pose. So why don't you go ahead and walk your knees wide, toes towards each other. Sit back, heels towards the buns, towards the heels. And then we're just going to walk our arms forward. Rest your head on the ground if you can. And just let's start with some deep breaths. And you're just going to kind of sink side to side. And then we're going to go ahead and start some spinal rolls. So rounding out the back, nice and slow, and we're going to drop those hips into a cobra stretch. If this is too much right here, just go ahead and drop lower, just so you want a nice little arch in the back. And then we're going to round out all the way back to child's pose. Take that big inhale. Exhale, roll it. Sink the hips for child's pose. And exhale back. We're just going to go back and forth a few times. Big round, separate the shoulder blades, then squeeze and up. Tuck and round. Really trying to separate your shoulder blades as much as you can when you round out to really get that good thoracic stretch. Let's just do one more here. And sit it all the way back down. All right, we're going to go into a down dog position. So fingertips nice and wide. Okay, feet are about hip width, hips are nice and high. Feel free to bend your knees. So we don't want to have a rounded low back if your hamstrings are really tight. So soften your knees to lift your hips up. You're folding yourself in half, and we're going to start with 5 heel raises. So lifting your heels up and then pressing them down. Up, down, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now just pedal those heels out for a nice little calf stretch. You can walk your hips side to side. And then we're going to take our right hand and we're going to reach towards our left ankle. And we're just going to go back and forth. I'm pushing into my stable hand on the ground to kind of fold myself in half further. So I'm kind of shifting my weight, push. So I'm trying to fold. Let's just do one more on each side. Okay, slowly walk your hands to your feet. Walking them back to the end of the mat. We're just going to stay here for a second. Shake out your head, neck, and shoulders. All right, we're going to walk ourselves back to plank. So inchworm out. When we get to our plank, one foot goes to the outside of the hand. And we're going to rotate our torso towards the knee. Then we're going to put our hand down, step back, do the other side, deep lunge, big exhale, rotate, inhale back, and walk back to your feet. Pause, big breath, and walk it back out. Right foot to the outside of the right hand, add that rotation. Step back to plank, other side, rotation, back, walk it in. Take that deep breath when you get to the bottom. Then we're gonna do one more. Walk it back out. Pause in that plank. Big deep lunge. Back switch. And walk it on back. Good, take your time. I want you to roll yourself up nice and slow. Little spinal roll here. Okay, so this is called a 6-point squat. We're really just focusing on trying to get range of motion. So feet are hip width, whatever you would do your normal squat. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna reach our hands down towards our toes first. Then we're gonna drop to our squat, and I want you to just go ahead and try to get as low as you can. Then we're gonna lift our right arm up, right arm down. Left arm up, hold it, right arm back up for a Y, and then we're standing. Starting over, reaching down towards the toes. Squatting all the way if you can, just as low as you feel comfortable. One arm, switch, sorry, left arm up first, and back. Right arm up, left arm up, and stand. Back to the top. Reach to the toes, full squat down, right arm, left arm, hold it, right arm, and stand. We're gonna do 5, 2 more. So we're working that bottom squat, rotation, rotation, and then thoracic extension with that reach. Last one, toe touch, squat it down. Trying to alternate which arm we reach up with first. And hold. All right, we're gonna do some alternating toe touches. So I'm gonna pick one foot off the ground, working on my balance, and you're reaching down either towards your knee. So why don't we start with that, focusing on balancing, not allowing our knee to collapse in. We wanna push that knee out, trying to keep the core tight. So I'm hinging at the hip. As you feel more comfortable, you can go lower. But that's not always necessarily the goal if we can't do it correctly. But working those balance, especially with bare feet, is really good to strengthen our feet. And especially this one is really good for our hip capsule, balancing muscles in the glutes, warming up the IT bands, and keeping our core nice and engaged. And trying to keep it flat. Okay, next we're gonna do an ankle grab. So like a quad stretch, you can just stay here. As you grab that ankle, you're pushing your hip forward and squeezing that glute. And if you want to try a challenge, once you grab that ankle, you're going to reach, balance, and tap your knee, shin, or the ground. Okay, mobility is all about control through the joints with range of motion. Again, you could just do the grab portion without the balancing portion, but it's kind of a fun little challenge. Okay, this is going to be our last one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do what's called a neural slide. So this is for our neck. So we're going to put one hand out, palm out, fingertips down, and we're going to bring our chin towards the opposite shoulder. This is flossing. So then I come up and press out. Come up, press out. Really drive your palm away from you. So lengthening from the chin to the palm. Okay, we're going to bring that right arm all the way behind the back, And then we're gonna add that little stretch through the neck. So try to squeeze the shoulder blades. Either your chin can go towards the shoulder or your ear can go towards the shoulder. And you can work between the two. And come on out. All right, switching sides. So palm out, fingertips down. Okay, and then we're gonna bring our chin towards the opposite shoulder while we push into the heel of the hand. Come back, kind of floss, back and forth. All right, so we go up, out. Big exhales as you at the end range. One more. Hand comes behind the back and either ear towards the shoulder, chin towards the shoulder. Good, come on out. All right, you're gonna grab your towel, tea towel, whatever you have, but this is a really good tool for this nice shoulder stretch. Hi, Susan's here too, great. Okay, so you're gonna grab that towel. We're gonna put it behind our neck, and we're trying to focus on keeping it underneath here, so right in the cervical spine. Okay, you're going to pull and let your head collapse. So the goal is to get a little traction and add extension. So we're just gonna stay here for a couple deep breaths, so try to really relax over, and you can also rock side to side. When I rock to the right side, I kind of pull towards the left, and then the opposite. Again, just getting a little traction. Let's go 3 more deep breaths. All right, slowly come on out. Now we're gonna use that towel behind our back. Okay, you're gonna grip the towel. The wider the towel grip, the easier this will be for the shoulders. But you can either go palms down or palms up. It's kind of you could just play with it, whatever feels good to you, and you can alternate a few times. So we're gonna actively hold. See how tight my core is? I'm not allowing my shoulders to roll. Hold, big deep breath. And as you exhale, you're folding and trying to go a little further using gravity for that stretch. Big breath, come back up. Hold it, and fold, big breath, back up, and fold, back up, fold. Let's go one more. And fold. Good, slowly come back up. We're gonna go ahead and release our towel. So that goes to the side. Now we're gonna go back to standing and we're gonna do a few spinal rolls, but we're gonna pause at the bottom. So comfortable standing position, feet are narrow, so right underneath the hips. We're gonna tuck the chin, slowly roll through the spine, all the way down, towards the toes. Once I get to the bottom, go ahead and take a pause. Now, I'm going to lock one knee. So my right knee is locked here. I'm gonna bend my left knee a lot, push my hip to the right side, and then I'm gonna exhale and reach up with my right arm. Hand goes down. Switch position. So now my left leg is straight, my right leg is bent, pushing my left hip out, reaching up with my left arm. Inhale. Exhale, I'm trying to fold deeper. Bring it back to center. Bend those knees a little bit, and we're gonna roll ourselves back up. Slowly, one vertebra at a time. Once I get to the top, opening the chest and head, and rolling back down. Trying to go slow, thinking one vertebra at a time, really flexion through the spine here. That's what rounding out the spine is, flexion. Getting all the way to the bottom, pausing. Okay, left leg is bent, right leg is straight. Reaching right arm up. Bring that hand back down. Switch legs. Reaching up with the other arm. Bring that back down. Roll it up. We're going to do one more of those. Open all the way to the top. And back down. Tuck the chin. Slow spinal rolls. Once we get to the bottom, adding that kind of walk out with our feet. Switching sides. Coming back to center and spinal roll. Okay, once you finish that, we're gonna do a few windmills. So this is all about, again, control. We're gonna feel a lot through our glutes and our hamstrings. So you're just gonna go ahead and start with your hands on your thighs. One arm's gonna go to the ceiling. Okay, and I'm going to slide. I'm trying to keep my legs as straight as I can. I'm sliding myself down as low as possible, kind of like that triangle stretch in yoga. Gonna take a deep breath, and then I'm going to work my way back up. I'm trying to use my obliques and my core to lift me. That's why we're going slow. We're gonna do another one. If it feels comfortable, you turn your toe out, that's totally fine. Slow. This is also a really good stretch through the side body, that QL muscle. Use that core, race through the core, lift up. Let's go for one more. Slow, controlled. Again, you're using your trunk, your core to do the work, to have that strength and stability. Slowly come up. Okay, switching sides, same thing. See if you feel different on the other side. Hands just on that side and slides down. Way tighter on the other side for me. Slowly come up. Back down. Brace through the core. If you do feel a lot of tightness through that side low back, just stay folded over a little bit longer when you're doing this on your own. My other arm's always up to the ceiling. So you could stay here a lot longer, or even reach that arm over your head. It's slow, controlled, all the way back up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and lay on our, where are we at here? Oh, we're gonna lay on our side. So we're gonna go into arm bar. So this is thoracic rolling. So Just start with your knees a little bit soft. We're gonna go one arm up to the ceiling, kind of the same idea as that windmill. And we're gonna pull that top leg way over the body. Okay, so right now, my other arm's out to the side. It's nice and tight. Other arms to the sky, so kind of 90 degrees. Shoulders are stacked up. Now, bracing through the core, I'm going to exhale and try to roll my shoulder towards the ground. And then I'm going to inhale and come back up to stack my shoulders back up. Exhale, rolling. So it's kind of like we're getting into a spinal stretch. And then inhale, back up. Exhale, rolling the shoulder down, opening, twisting through the spine. That's 3. 4, one more. And 5. Just bring your knees back on top of each other, bending your bottom arm. Hand goes on top. I'm going to push my palm towards the ground for sleeper stretch. So this is that rotator cuff, internal rotation at the shoulder. Do not allow your shoulder to roll up. I'm going to keep that straight down. We're going to find end range. We're going to go in and out, little pulses, and back and forth. Good, slowly come on up. We're going to go ahead and do the other side. So we're going to start with our arm bar out, bringing that leg way over the body. Other arm straight over to the sky. It always stays up to the sky. Shoulders are stacked. Big inhale. Exhale. I'm trying to open through the spine. Then drop the shoulder towards the ground, but my arm's still straight. Inhale, back up. One more. All the way back up. Okay, feet back in a comfortable position. Bottom arm is bent. Grabbing the top of the wrist, elbows 90 degrees to the shoulder, and I'm pushing my hand towards the ground, internal rotation at the shoulder. Nice shoulder stays on the ground. Find end range, in and out, back and forth. We're here for 5 breaths. All right, slowly coming on out of that. All right, we're gonna go into a froggy stretch. So, froggy stretch is, we're gonna walk our knees as wide as we can, okay? My ankles are gonna line up with my knees, so at 90 degrees at the knees, I don't want my feet together, 90 degrees, okay? I can either stay in my hands, drop to my elbows, also toes flex towards the shins. Okay, we can drop down, you can stay up, you can hold a ball, whatever, and I'm just gonna kind of shift my hips back towards my heels until I feel that end range stretch, and then I'm gonna go in and out of that position. You could also go chest to the ground if that works for you. But I'm keeping my spine relatively flat. I'm not totally popping my hips up for arch. Okay, belly's just slightly engaged. Now, I want you to pause, actively push your knees into the ground to activate those muscles. 3, 2, 1, now relax. So again, that's our active and passive stretch holds. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Actively push your knees kind of towards each other, pretend like you're squeezing them. 2, 1, relax. One more time in active. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Last 3 breaths. Okay, we're gonna come out of this. I just like to lay on my stomach and then lock my feet together. Okay. All right, we're gonna come up. I want you to grab your block if you have it available, or a pillow or a foam roller. Just have it next to you. We're gonna use it for our next stretch. And we're gonna go ahead and roll onto our back. Feet are gonna be the width of your mat or a little wider than your hips. We're gonna have one knee fall in, one knee fall out. I just like to call these windshield wipers. And we're gonna go back and forth. So internal rotation at one hip, external at the other. Just kind of sway it back and forth. All right, now we're gonna do one leg at a time. So I'm going to let one fall in. We're just focusing on internal rotation. Toes flex towards the shin. I want you to look down. My shoulder, my hip, and my knee are in one line. Okay? I can stay here, or I can put my other foot on top of that knee to kind of help push it down further. You do whatever works. Internal rotation. This is a really good relief for sciatica if you have that. We're just going to take some breaths here. Okay, slowly come back. And we're gonna switch sides. So walk your foot out wide enough that when I collapse my knee in, it's lined up with my hip and my shoulder. Toes flex towards the shin, other leg goes on top. Okay, slowly come out. Feet are back to the same width that we started. We're going to go back into a few windshield wipers. All right, we're going to grab our block. You can use a foam roller if you have that instead, or not. You could use a towel, something like that. So I'm going to put this between my knees. Okay, I'm going to start with my feet on the ground, like I'm going to do a bridge. So you're going to squeeze your knees together nice and hard. Feel those inner thighs working. I'm going to push my low back into the ground, and I'm going to lift my hips, still squeezing those knees, and lower. We're going to do 5 lifts. Really focus on keeping that tension between the thighs. 2, 3, and as you can see on my lift, my back stays flat. 4, really focusing on that glute engagement. And 5. Okay, keep squeezing, just hold, keep that low back pushed. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, now I'm gonna bring my feet off the ground. I'm gonna put my roller or my block against my knees. So right now, my core is working nice and hard to keep my legs up. We're gonna push that low back into the ground. Arms are straight. All I want you to do is push your knees into your hands and your hands into your knees to create tension. Focusing on that core, holding 5, 4, 3, tight, 2, 1. Just take a little rest. Now we're gonna do some dead bugs with this. So you're gonna go ahead and bring your right hand to your left knee. Okay, you're still pushing equally between both knees, but now I'm going to add an opposite arm, opposite leg extension. Bring it back up. You're just gonna do the same leg and arm. Don't let that low back roll off the ground. 2, 3. The harder you push against your knee, the harder this is. 4, 1 more. 5. Okay, we're switching sides, do 5 more, and then we're gonna finish off with a few stretches. Push hard, low back's down. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Adding tension with that knee against the hand and hand against the knee. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, relax. Now we're gonna put that block underneath our hips. If this is too much for you, don't do it. But you want it more on your sacrum than your actual low back muscle. So this is kind of way up on, it's on the hips and the sacrum, not on the low back. So one leg's gonna go long. I'm gonna start by pulling my knee into my chest. It's okay if your leg comes up a little bit. It's just a little more extension through the hip. So knee comes in straight towards the hip. Nice deep breaths. Now I'm going to bring my knee out towards my armpit. And then knee comes across the body towards my opposite armpit. Now I'm going to grab behind my knee, pull my knee into my chest, and then work on straightening out that leg. 1, 2, but I'm trying to keep that knee into the chest. 3, so only straightening as much as you can without moving the knee back. 3, 4, and 5. Switching sides. Pull the knee into the chest, straight up. Bringing the knee across the body towards, outside towards the armpit. And then across towards the opposite armpit. Back straight, clasping behind the knee, pull the knee into the chest, and kick open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're going to put the bottom of our feet together. Let our knees fall wide. Again, if this is too much for your low back, you can get rid of the block or the roller. I'm just going to kind of go back and forth a little bit. Okay, you have 2 options for this last one. One, you can just have your feet up to the sky or over towards your head, keeping that block there. Or we're gonna do roll backs. So I'm here and I'm rolling my feet over and rolling myself down in control. Otherwise, just keep your feet up to the sky. Just gonna do 5 of these. Okay, on your last one, you can hold it for that plow pose. You could do a shoulder stand, or you could just keep your hips up on that block, or you could go to a wall and put your feet up on that wall. We're here for 5 breaths. Okay, rolling yourself back, nice and controlled. And we're gonna sit ourselves up, feet in that butterfly stretch, and we're just gonna finish off with that forward fold. So on your inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. 5 breaths here, 3. Trying to actively change each time, 4. And 5. All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much for